What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about a film that was released not too long ago that I was actually looking forward to checking out because I was hearing a lot of buzz about Pamela Anderson's performance in this film. And I didn't know much about it other than it took place in Las Vegas about the showgirl. And I knew that it was directed by Gia Coppola, who I know has done at least a couple other films, but I've not seen any of the other movies that she has made. So I was interested to check it out, see what kind of style this movie was, and if I would enjoy it. And the film I'm going to be discussing with you today is The Last Showgirl. The Last Showgirl is directed by Gia Coppola. When the glittering Las Vegas revue she has headlined for decades announces it will soon close, a glamorous showgirl must reconcile with the decision she's made and the community she has built as she plans her next act. So I was really excited to watch this movie. I'd heard wonderful things about Pamela Anderson's performance, which got me really excited to see it. And I think Pamela Anderson is excellent in this movie, and I think it has a wide array of really excellent performances, but the movie doesn't do much of anything. I feel like the emotional core of the film feels relatively lackluster, and I kept waiting the entire movie to just feel something very immensely, but all of like the character relationships and the dialogue between the characters, it feels very inauthentic. It doesn't feel like anyone who's experienced issues similar to what these characters are going through. Even though these actors are delivering really excellent performances, you just don't feel much of anything, which is a huge detriment to the film. And I'm going to discuss that as I break the movie down for you today. So at the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to Shelley, played by Pamela Anderson, she's been working as a showgirl at this place in Vegas for decades now. And she's been working there, and she used to be incredibly popular. And the show continues to dwindle its popularity. They can't draw in as big of an audience as they used to get. And she spends a lot of time with these two younger girls that work on the show with her, played by Brenda Song and Kiernan Shipka. And she also spends time with one of her lifelong friends, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, who works as like a bartender now at a casino. She used to be a part of that show. And then the other character in this movie that plays a predominant role is Dave Bautista's character, who is the one who kind of choreographs the show, makes sure that everybody hits their positions correctly. And so we're introduced to all of those different characters, and we learn very shortly into the film that the show that they do is going to close. They're going to bring in a new show that's providing a lot more excitement for viewers that people are actually showing up for. And it just completely wrecks Shelley. She has no idea how to react to that situation because it's been her entire life. And simultaneously, her daughter Hannah comes back into her life, who they haven't talked much. I don't think they've seen each other face to face for over a year. And so the entirety of the film is seeing Shelley's character react to this show closing while simultaneously trying to hold together the relationship with her estranged daughter. So like I said, this movie has some really incredible performances, but as far as the movie as a whole is concerned, it's very underwhelming, and the emotion just feels very inauthentic and sort of hokey in moments, unfortunately. And I will start with the positives. Like I said, I think Pamela Anderson delivers a truly phenomenal performance in this movie. You can tell that she really cares deeply about the character and was trying to bring the character to light as authentically as possible as she could on screen. There were a couple of moments where I was just truly impressed at how much of the scenery she was eating up, and like just the way that she delivered her dialogue and how she interacted with characters. And she should very much be commended for this role. And I hope that like at this period in her career that it will open up more opportunities for her to do acting work, because she's really great in this. And I think she should 100% be commended for the performance that she gives. Outside of her, I think Dave Bautista is really excellent in this movie. Brenda Song and Kiernan Shipka, for the time that they are in the film, are really great. And I think they add a lot of personality and charm to the scenes that they're in. And Jamie Lee Curtis, I've seen a lot of people say this, she feels like sort of a rendition of her character that she plays on The Bear. Just very absurd, brash. She has a lot of really great moments in the movie. And so the chemistry of the cast members in this is really great. It's also beautifully shot. The cinematography, you can tell there's a lot of attentiveness to where the camera is placed. There was a lot of great editing transitions, lighting choices that I really appreciated and that I felt like immersed me in this relatively short runtime of a film. I liked the way that it looked visually, and it's clear that Gia Coppola very much knows how to pick a competent cinematographer, work together to bring forth a very captivating looking movie. But aside from that, the entire emotional core that the film strives to bring you, which at first is the relationship of this aging star who was very successful in what she was doing in the 80s. She was incredibly popular and has chosen this life for herself, and it's finally going to go away. She's not going to be able to do this anymore, and she realizes when she tries to try out for other gigs that she's just not as young as she used to be. And when it comes to Las Vegas, they're looking for young, exciting, new, fresh. And I don't feel like any of the internal struggle of her character in relation to the career that she has, that there's any real depth to it that makes it interesting to explore. I feel like all of the examination of that element is very surface level, to where I just got bored. It felt like the scenes surrounding the idea of her age and the way that she looks, a lot of the dialogue around it and the conversations with other people, it was very cliche. I didn't feel like I was learning anything new. And Pamela Anderson was just giving this really great performance. And I just kept waiting to feel moved emotionally. And I never did because of how surface level all the dialogue was. The stuff in the movie that I feel like was really poorly put together was the relationship between her and her estranged daughter. Like, I'm talking, it's so bad it felt like cheesy, almost Hallmark movie. Like, mom takes a job that's more in the art world, daughter wants to be in the art world. She's like very much a proponent for it, but the daughter also hates her because she stayed on to this job, wasn't as big of a part of her life, and so she's conflicted by it. And I'm like, I've seen this film before, and you can do it in a way that's really interesting and that provides very unique character dynamics, but it doesn't. And there's a reveal towards the end of the movie surrounding the daughter and the relationship between Pamela Anderson that I thought the way they handled the reveal was really nice, like very different than a lot of other movies that you see, but it was missing that really heavy emotional punch. And I think like not every movie that you watch has to have that drastic gut punch, but this movie felt like it wanted it. The very intense emotional reactions that characters were having to specific circumstances. It just felt like the director wanted you to get something truly like moving or really like visceral out of this material. And I feel like when it comes to the idea of people in the entertainment industry aging and you like having to redefine what your role is, I feel like The Substance did such a better job with that. Even in like dour, very heavy emotional moments, it moved me more than this movie did. That scene with Demi Moore kind of just like scraping all of her makeup off in the mirror. Like I felt so much more emotionally in a film like The Substance than I did in this. And this is trying to go for very grounded emotional drama, which is what disappointed me so much. I was just hopeful to feel that. And I think there's a lot of things working for it. Like I said, the performances are really great. The cinematography looks nice. Even a lot of the musical choices I think work really well for the film, but it's so incredibly hollow. And that's why I feel like the movie as a whole doesn't work totally. I would say that I think it's worth watching solely for Pamela Anderson's performance, but I don't really see myself revisiting this in the near future. So have you seen The Last Showgirl? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie had a phenomenal lead performance from Pamela Anderson, a lot of really excellent performances from the supporting cast, and not much else. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.